All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is John C. Luna, and this is Date Night with the Lunas -1. Angelique is out of town and out in the West Coast. Actually, right now she is out at Disneyland, not Disney World. Disney World was last week, Disneyland's this week. That girl is getting all over the Disney circle. But hey, she's enjoying it and having fun, and that is what is important. It is October 18th, and we are on BFAM 109.6 to talk about, well, normally we talk about our weekend adventures, which is partially of what we're going to be talking about today. But my weekend adventure involved a puppy event. And I want to go ahead and explain all this. A puppy, when I say a puppy event, I don't own a dog. I am the dog. I am the puppy, actually. So normally, what I will do is I thought it would be appropriate to wear the collar, wear the get up. I can't wear the mask, otherwise, I can't hear my station manager. But get out all the stuff. And today we're going to talk about puppy play. So before we get into it, I just want to go ahead and mention our sponsor, Fairville University. Um, we have a class coming up. We have a class coming up on Thursday. Thursday is what day? I don't remember what Thursday is. But on Thursday, I'm actually teaching a class on medical play. So if you're curious about medical play is essentially we're going to cover everything from taking your partner's temperature, how to do basically exams, anything from genital to vaginal to anal to extreme stuff like infusion, water sports. We're going to talk about what's the sounding. If you don't know what sounding is, go ahead and look it up. I don't want to describe it too much here. I don't want to spoil it. But that's coming up on Thursday, the 21st. So if you're interested, go to fairvilla.com/education or just go to Fairville and click on education. The tickets are $15, which, by the way, is a steal because it is a virtual class. You don't have to be here. You get to go ahead and do the entire class from home and watch it and interact with us, talk with us, ask us questions. Trust me, I know a lot have been playing with medical play for a while. I won't be covering it, but I've done needles. I've done, yeah, there's lots of stuff. But medical play is essentially playing doctor, which is something that we've all done at some point in our lives, hopefully. But anyway, that is on Thursday. But I want to talk tonight about puppy play. And like I said, I'm in gear. I have my harness. Normally, I'm wearing something a lot less than this, and I'm wearing a mask such as this. So, what is puppy play? Well, puppy play is a kink that involves puppy hoods, tails. My tail I can't wear because I'm sitting. Uh, it involves getting into the headspace of a puppy, and it sounds so weird. It's a form of role play. Um, but I went to a puppy event on Friday at my local dungeon. And I'm not lying, there was about 30 different puppies there, all shapes and sizes, all genders. We even had a fox. We had what? We had a fox. We had a no, two foxes, and the rest were puppies of all different breeds and sizes. And again, different breeds. Again, I'm usually dressed up in either that or that. But well, you're probably saying, why does the mask kind of go on this? Basically, well, we'll get to that. Puppy play is a great form of role play. It really does get you out of your headspace. It it is the only place so far that I'm submissive. I have been in the kink community for 8 years now, and 99% of the time I am doming, which means I use rope, I use impact toys, I love sensation play. I can be a true sadist. If you've ever felt coconut rope, I can do some amazing things to someone with coconut rope and make them purr. But usually I'm playing with masochist. Whenever I go ahead and put this on and get into my puppy outfit, there's something about putting a mask on that really takes you out of a current situation. And that's when I get more submissive and more playful. So let's go through a couple things. Um, a puppy event. It was essentially about 30 puppies, and we had a little social time to go ahead and get and meet each other. And then we actually started playing games. They had like a puppy style games, which they had us fetching balls, they had us running races. There was actually a tug of war. No, we did not use our teeth. But when I usually do, well, some of us when we do puppy play, we'll actually wear something like this. And if it's getting into the mind space of a puppy, well, when I say getting into the headspace, the mind space, it's detaching from where you currently are. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually a college professor. On top of doing this stuff, I have a lot of responsibility, a lot of stuff. When I do something like this, and this one's Velcro, it helps to get into the headspace because essentially, once I have this on and it's tied, I can't grab anything. I It makes you almost less human that I can't pick up stuff except with paws. And between, as I'm having trouble getting this off, putting those on, putting the leash on, yes, I actually have depending on the time, it's called a handler, um, who will guide me around like this, and I will be on all fours doing that. But I'm going to take this off just for the moment because it's getting away to wires. But a collar, a harness, usually something small on, and of course, a mask. And the mask is very interesting because it also muffles the sound. It really sometimes it takes a while, especially if you're in a dungeon with loud music, to be able to hear people. So you get into this headspace, and again, your face is completely hidden. People can't see you. They don't really know who you are. Well, obviously, after a while, but you get into that headspace of basically a puppy. It is a very carefree, playful. It takes a while to get into, but it is completely amazing. Again, if it's your thing. A couple things I want to say right here. This is a neoprene mask. And again, I have a red one and I also have a blue one over here and I have a black one somewhere. But I have a big noggin and I'm not lying. Uh, I had to go to Michael's or Target or one of the places and buy this styrofoam thing and wrap it to actually stretch it out. So if you're ever getting into puppy, to go ahead and, or you're not into playing, you just need to stretch out a mask or something, putting it on here and then put it out in the garage where you have the hot temperatures. It actually starts taking that form and will keep it after a while. And every so often, I'm actually adding more and more fabric in here to kind of stretch it out. Unfortunately, I can't put this on because then I won't have this on. But imagine 30 puppies. And by the way, those were all different genders. There was both men, women, and trans there, and some non binary, and all dressed up in puppy gear and essentially acting like dogs, getting around, playing with each other, sniffing with each other, tackling each other. Kind of a lot of human protocols go out the window at that point to where you end up in a dog pile of cuddle at one point we did, which was completely awesome. But let's start with where this all started because honestly, this has been getting really popular. It's not just me doing it, it's huge in the gay community and it's starting to actually catch on in the straight community. Um, so, why is it so popular? I think that's one of the biggest things. I think it's really that role play stuff. Because you can do it solo. You can do it without anyone being there. You can do it with a handler and start playing. You can do it with other puppies. I'm currently, we'll say, engaged. No, the word's engaged word. Chatting, hopefully with a kitty. And the idea of this having this interaction between a puppy and a kitty is also intriguing to us. But it started a lot more, I guess, about in the last 30 years, the last 10 years, it's really started to pick up in a lot of gay events. There's plenty of gay bars. I know everything Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa, and Jacksonville. I only know down here that are having these pup events. And yes, I can drink a beer through the mask. There is a nice hole in there, but they're becoming more and more popular. And it is somewhat of a power exchange relationship between the puppy and the handler. something. Let's see here. So yes, it is something that is a dom sub relationship, as someone asked over here. By the way, we're simulcasting on both BFAM as well as over here. We're talking on SDC as well. Hello, my friends. And let's see what really happens. Um, there's a whole psychology play to it. Let's see. One, it's definitely freeing. It's definitely relaxing to put on the mask because as almost someone in bondage, you really have almost no responsibility. It's shedding all that for a little while. Um, now, it may or may not involve sex. That's the interesting part. I've had situations where it was playful and did turn into sex, or it wasn't and it didn't, but it still was playful. Uh, let's see what else. It's kind of hard to describe how it feels putting that on, other than very freeing, very well, not you. But it actually came out of the gay leather community. One of the things in the gay leather community, right, little history on the gay leather community, is that it started post World War II. And what happened was in World War II, almost everyone who could be was, of course, drafted. And a lot of gay men learned structure. A lot of everyone learned structure in there because, again, you were enlisted in the army very quickly. War ended, and everyone's again, most of them were discharged after a year or so, and they kind of felt lost. They were looking for community. They had a lot of community in the army that they didn't have in the civilian world. So, especially out on the West Coast in the California area, that's where the gay leather community started. And I know God, what was that bad movie? Not bad movie, but great movie, Police Academy. When you think gay leather, you think of the what? Blue Oyster Cult, Blue Oyster Club, not cult. Cult made great music. The club is the one that looked like a very bad stereotype. Um, but it really did start there, and it kind of formed structure. There was actually a type of earning your leather and going up through the uh, we'll say the ranks, from getting into it to being a senior, and it was really very community based, and a lot of gay men found community in it. Now, in the last 30 years, it's changed a lot. There are women in the leather community who are straight. There's men who are straight. It basically opened up to all genders, and in the last few years, it's actually incorporated or it's grown a lot the puppy community. So again, I keep showing my mask. Something I just realized that you may or may not know is there are different colors. I have a red one and I have a blue one. And when I went to my puppy event last Friday, I had someone come up to me and ask me if I was flagging. And it took me a moment to realize what they meant by flagging. This was again coming out of the gay leather community. So back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, there was actually laws where it was illegal to be gay out in the US in several parts. So you couldn't advertise in the paper. There were no gay personals. Obviously, the internet didn't exist. They developed something known as the Hanky Code, which is, again, I'm dating, this is before my time. This is the 50s, 60s, 70s in San Francisco and California. And what the Hanky Code was if you took a certain color of hanky and you wore it in one of your pockets, it flagged you for what you were looking for or offering. And let me go through a short list here. A black hanky, and by the way, if it's on the right side, it means you're a top. If it's on your left side, it means you're a bottom. But if you had a blank hanky, it means you were into BDSM. So a blank hanky on your right side meant you were uh, a BDSM top. On your left side meant the BDSM bottom. However, if you had a dark blue hanky, it means anal sex, top or bottom. Light blue was oral sex, top or bottom. Uh, Brown is something I don't even want to talk about. You can imagine what brown means. But gray meant bondage. Orange means you were basically open to anything. Purple means you were pierced, usually either nipples or below the belt. Red is fisting, and yellow is water sports. Now, this is the short list of the Hanky Code. It's evolved then, and this has been around for a long time. There was actually this the one I'm reading right now was published in 1983, and it was actually published before that in 1972, so before I was even born. Um, to again to show these different codes, and it was a way of signaling what you were either looking for or what you were into. Um, you look too tight. Relax a little. Well, thank you. I have some wise listeners here. But oh, where am I going? Hanky code, hanky code, hanky code. Okay. So whether you had the hanky code, where you had it on what side, it meant that. So I had someone come up to me and ask me, "Are you flagging?" And it took me a while to realize what color I was wearing and what it was and what he meant, and then think of what red actually meant. And yes, I said yes. Uh, I was flagging red, and I do fist. So I'm like, okay, yes, and that started the conversation. So this is something that still comes up today. It is primarily in the gay community, the hanky code or the flagging. However, I got a great story. A friend of mine was in, this is going back maybe 15 years, was out in San Francisco for a psychology certification, a course. And there was people from all over the country for this. And there was this cute, maybe 25-year-old, young, Midwestern, innocent looking blonde girl. And she was talking about how friendly the city is, and how much she liked it here. And everyone warned her how scary the big city is because she was coming from like Wisconsin or somewhere. Anyway, when she sat down, we realized she had a yellow hanky in her left pocket. It matched her outfit, and she had no idea what it meant. But when I wasn't there, but when she was told that what that means is you're looking to receive water sports. And for those of you who don't know, water sports means urine play, being pissed on. She took out the hanky, threw it on the floor, and got very, very upset. And yeah, she was shocked at why everyone was so happy to chat and talk with her. Um, so yeah, your colors may mean something. Now, here's the thing: not everyone knows about codes like this, and if you don't know and you look oblivious, no one's going to pull it out and start peeing on you or something like that. Usually, we ask, like I was asked, "Are you flagging?" Because it is it is something that we should definitely ask about before you start getting involved. But yes, uh, there is a little secret code like that. There's lots of secret codes like that hanging out there. Like, okay, here's a little thing. If you've ever seen guys in leather that have a leather cap up on top, and I'm not talking about something they just picked up down at the corner store, like a leather, there's a certain type of cap usually that goes with it. Um, it's either they're wearing it because they thought it looked good or they've earned it. And when I say they've earned it, usually it's service to the community that earns your leather. And leather starts from the bottom up. I mean, I know you can earn your belt, you can earn a whole bunch of different pieces of leather. Eventually, you earn your vest, and you see a lot of people put buttons on their vest to show all the achievements they've made. And it's funny because for as much of the leather community looks tough or grungy or whatever you may think of it is, even on the outside, they may look a little scary. Um, all those little buttons and stuff are usually for charity events or some type of service or mentoring. It is a very, very community based group. And again, not all the groups are the same. I've definitely seen and experienced um, different groups in the leather community going from South Florida up to Orlando. I've seen it in Atlanta. I've seen it in Texas. I've seen it all the way out in San Francisco. Again, different people make up different groups, but for the most part, they are incredibly community based. And one of the things that's really interesting about puppy play is that community. What I mean is, yeah, we can go to a dungeon and we can do BDSM, which is great. And again, I always say I found my people. These are the people I can talk to. Um, however, we all don't play because again, I will play with a bottom or I will play with Miss Angelique, and we have that type of interaction, a type of play. But the puppy play gets into this group of puppies playing. It is one of the interesting kinks I've seen where a whole group of people will get together and play. And it doesn't always have to be sexual. We're not grabbing parts and doing stuff like that. That's really not what it's about. If I wanted to do that, I could go back to being a dom. Um, and again, being sadistic and doing things to a bottom. And that if I'm looking for copping a feel, that's a lot easier to do. Sex really isn't. I won't say it's not a part of it, but it's not the primary part of it. It's play. It's adults acting like dogs and puppies, tussing around and having fun. So I admit I got into this a couple months before COVID hit. Went to an event, got really excited about it, and then spent a year and a half indoors. So now that I'm coming out, I'm starting to go ahead and see more events. There's actually uh, another group that does 2 events a month in Orlando. I know several groups in South Florida that are puppy events. I found a Jacksonville puppy event. I know there's an Atlanta puppy event. Um, and there's really not much to it. You don't need a whole lot of dress up either. I mean, in all honesty, you can go. I just bought a mask, a different color, off of Walmart online, and I think it cost me 29 bucks. And it's like this. It is neoprene. So if you look here, it does stretch. It has give way. Couple things about these masks: they're hard to hear. I'm trying an experiment. I'm trying to find a hole puncher for in a puppy shape, preferably, or maybe Disney if I want to screw with them, and punch a bunch of holes in. Because with this over your ears, you really can't hear a lot. And it certain masks will cover up your whole face. Not all of them do. Some of them are just cutaways and have like a thing behind you. But once you go ahead and put it on, well, this one specifically, I can't hear. I can't hear anything. Everything's muffled, and then, of course, I'm in a dungeon with usually industrial loud music playing. So it's sort of like a dog. I see lips move, and I can't hear about this. I really can't understand what anyone's saying. But I am gonna say, if you're interested in puppy play and you're gonna try it, there's really you can go view it, be a handler, go to any puppy event. There's actually usually puppy events at bars if you wanna go ahead and check those out. However, if you wanna get involved and try puppy play, minimally, you need, I would say, a mask. And again, I picked one up for 30 bucks on Walmart online. They're really not that expensive. They're fairly common. Again, pick a color that goes with you. Again, be aware of the Hanky Code. You may also want to go ahead and get kneecaps, knee pads to protect your kneecaps. Yes, I definitely do not have those. And tomorrow I will be going to Home Depot because I'm getting near 50 and I like my knees. So running around on a floor on all fours, although being fun, is going to hurt after a while. So essentially, that is what I did spending my Friday night, which was very interesting because I had some company. I had some people come with me. I'm going to go ahead and start taking this off. I will say one thing: puppy play is a lot more fun up north because it's a little colder. Because again, all this stuff I'm wearing is either neoprene or leather. And I actually had to have this one specially made. My neck is a little large, and the one size fits all does not fit me. But actually, no. Let's go back to our sponsor. I got these from Kink Crate. So I mentioned them in the earlier show with on Sex Positive Me. So if you're interested in puffy play, it's sometimes hard to get into that headspace in a group of people. So I recommend finding, well, first, go to a bar where there's a pup event. You don't have to get dressed up. You don't have to be a handler. You can sit and just watch what's going on. And for the most part, if it's a bar, depending on the place, we may just sit around and drink beer like everyone else. You will hear howling. You will hear woofing. You'll hear dog noises. Because again, once you put the puppy mask on, once you do all that, you kind of shutting down the human part of your mind, and you're just being the puppy. But really doesn't take a whole lot to get into, which is one of the good things about it. Now, let's see. What do we talk about here? What else? So I talked about the headspace of the puppy. We talked about okay, so I've been calling it puppy play the whole time, which is what it is, but technically the umbrella term we're going to go for is critters. Critters and furries are not the same. Let's put it this way. Critters, we usually don't wear nearly as much, which makes it a lot nicer for living in Florida. But critters basically is we put on the mask and be the dog or be the puppy, but it's ourselves. We create this little persona. It's us. However, most, not all, and it's not like a rule or anything, everything's fluid. Furries, on the other hand, create a persona. And I know one particular furry who has 3 different suits, and they are 3 different personalities when they put them on. It is being acting. It is totally acting when you're doing furries. Now, interesting thing about furries is because of something like CSI and general media, people think it's very sexual. That getting dressed up, and by the way, puppy and furry, not the same. That a furry is sexual. And the truth is, I'm seeing more and more, if you've been to Frolicon, which was last week, puppies, and I'm sorry, furries, going furries now, are being played even more and more with children. There's been this growing popularity of shy children who, when they put the mask on, when they get in the furry outfit, come out. They get to express themselves, and even to the point of autistic children, I've heard and seen get dressed up and are able to express themselves again. Something about being behind the mask lets them the freedom of doing it. However, I had a friend of mine also tell me about, because I asked, like many people, so what's the relationship between sex and furries? He said, yes, there are furries who have sex. There's always exceptions. But the suit he was wearing for Frolicon cost him right around $5,000 to put together. And he says, you have any idea what the fucking dry cleaning bill on this is? He goes, no one's putting, I don't even let people drink near me. Forget about put body fluids on here. But it isn't all about sex, the furry thing. Now, the critter thing, it's sort of the same. The critter thing, we definitely have, whether you're a puppy, I've seen puppies, foxes, I saw an otter, I've seen a bear, whatever critter you want to be, you can be. Just get dressed up at it. And again, nerd out, pop out, have fun with it, enjoy it. So let's see. We did the Hanky Code. We did that. We did the puppy play. One of the biggest things I mentioned again about puppy play is the community of it. It is one of those activities where you can go ahead and play in an entire group, and it's very playful. It's very interactive. It's very carefree, not necessarily sexual, but again, very out there. It looks kind of odd. I've been in a group of puppies walking down the street, and we do tend to get the weirdest looks. At the same time, I've had vanilla people come over, and I say vanilla, it just means the non-kink community people, those who are brand new to this, come over and start petting us, and they thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world, and it was fun for us. So let's see. Someone asked me, can I use an ice pick? I don't know what I would use an ice pick for, but I'll tell you what, this sounds like a great time to do a little break. So I'm going to be back in just a few minutes and continue to talk about crazy shit we did this weekend here on Date Night with the Lunas on BFAM 109.6. Stay tuned. Yeah, I can see who's listening. Let's see, we went over the history. DC, questions about puppy play? Any?
Keep going where you're going here. You did the stretch. I think you did everything we talked about beforehand.
I know.
Yeah, I'm out.
She slows me down, man. She definitely paces me a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back. This is still Date Night with the Lunas. I'm John C. Luna, and the lovely Angelique Luna is out in Disneyland, so I'm flying solo tonight. This next segment, though, is being brought to you by Florida Center for Hormones and Wellness. Both me and Angelique have been on hormone therapy. I've been going on 3 years now. Every 3 months, we go to see our doctor. We get testosterone pellets, which the difference between testosterone pellets and testosterone injections, and they are different, is when you get the injection. I used to get those, and they were every 2 weeks, and your hormone levels would start going all over the place. I had mood swings. I had all that. Getting the pellets, they're put under the skin. It's relatively painless. I go ahead and as I exercise and the blood flows more testosterone's released. They're so much better. If you're interested, go to sexpositiveme.com, click on the Hormones of Wellness logo, the banner over there. It'll take you to their site and go check it out. It's totally changed our lives. I've lost a bunch of weight. She's lost a bunch of weight. In 2 weeks, she's running a half marathon over at Disney. So, yeah, it's completely different. So, we were talking about just crazy shit we did over the weekend, and I said on Friday we went to a puppy play. Well, I went to a puppy play event, which was really different. I went to a local dungeon in here. Hold on. Do you get super hard regardless of the age? Oh, sorry, you're talking about with the testosterone. Yes. Here's what I'll say. Um, Testosterone affects a lot. Yes, with the therapy. Testosterone does affect your sex drive. It does affect your erection. It also affects your fat distribution on your body as well as your muscular distribution. I've lost weight. I've gained muscle. Does it get me super hard? I have sex when I want to now. I have never, and previous to that, again, in beginning of my 40s, sometimes we're not in the best, rough day, whatever. We're not in the mood. Uh, Past 3 years, no, I freaking love it. I have the story I love to go with is Angelique is on this as well. And I have woken up multiple mornings with morning wood, and she's already on top fucking me. And that's the way I woke up. And that's absolutely fantastic. What more can I ask for out of life than a wife that desires me that much? So no, it's been fantastic. So let's see, what is this? Someone asked some questions over here. Hope that answered your question over there. But let's see what else happened this weekend. I got a tattoo. Got a new one right here. You can see over there. And this is going to be a question for the audience. No answers from you, Tiny. While getting a tattoo, another female tattoo artist came across, found out I was a swinger and poly, and sat down and talked to me for like 40 minutes. Again, she had no one else to do, and just sat down and we talked, and we had a great damn time, and then kind of, went back. It was fun. I was so concentrated on my tattoo. Let's see. One more question coming back. Does it make you feel young? I have a lot more energy than I ever have before. However, again, this is you're talking about the doctor. Again, this is getting testosterone and getting hormone treatments through your doctor. Always go through your doctor. Don't self-prescribe. It's totally not worth it. Okay, so going back now, uh, I had another tattoo artist, female, came over, sat down, talked to me a while. We really got along. I was so concentrated on my tattoo, I was oblivious. I mean, don't get me wrong, she was beautiful. However, I get out, we leave. My other friend that was with me, who also got a tattoo, if she could have slapped me across the face and said, "What the hell was wrong with you?" she would have, because she's like, she was hitting on you. Why don't you get her number? She tends to go ahead and push a little bit. She's my tiny wingman is the best way to put it. So anyway, have you guys ever had that issue where you're in a club, an event, doing something, and you're being hit on, and you are completely oblivious to it? I I am so glad I have a wife and friends who point this stuff out to me. But anyway, after my friend literally sent me back up there, I gave her my number. Hopefully, I'll hear from her. but it was hysterical. The reaction of having a wing person slap you and be like, "She's hitting on you. What the hell's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Who? What? When? What? What did I do?" So, does anyone else ever have that problem? Have that clueless thing where someone's hitting on you, or at least talking to you, or showing an interest in you, and you're just like, just boom, right over my head. But again, I was really excited about getting a new tattoo, which came out quite well. It's healing up, and that's some Sanoderm over it at the moment. But the question is, yes, I do that all the time. Thank you. Thank you. Someone at least said they do this more than once. Uh, Whoever that was on Facebook. And no, not that one. But anyway, let's see. So I ended up going ahead and getting the tattoo on Thursday. Pup event, which was really cool, was Friday. Come to Saturday, I decided to go out and I ended up at a gay bar. And there are some interesting gay bars. Orlando is an interesting town. It's a fun place to great, fun place to dance. Um, but some gay bars actually, well, this particular one, I realized in the back there was a woodsy area. I guess you'd call it that. Had some tables out there, had some palm trees. So I went out to sit. I decided to again hang out. And I realized there were guys fucking back there. Again, doesn't bother me. I am bi. I'm fine with that. It's just I've except for a swingers club, which again, you know where you are. I have never seen that. I have never seen people fucking in the back of a bar, and I thought it was a one-off, and then someone else was doing it. So, again, yeah, that's been the adventure of this weekend. Uh, you know what? I'm having a fun time. I'm thanking everyone for coming, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this broadcast a little short tonight. Usually, Miss Angelique stretches this out for quite a bit, and we have some banter. Going solo is actually a pretty hard thing to do. So, what is it? I'm not homosexual, but I have heard of it. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it was a very interesting thing to walk into a bar and have a beer, and next thing you know, there's fucking going on. Now, I'm used to seeing that again. I've been in many swinger clubs. I go down trapeze quite a bit. In Orlando, we have Secrets. I've been to Colette's out in New Orleans. I've been even up to Toronto. Has an awesome swing club up there called Oasis. And that one you expect, but even then, there's a playroom, and then usually there's the bar. People aren't fucking at the bar. I guess they weren't fucking at the bar, but I went outside to sit down, and next thing I know, people are fucking out there. It was rather. So let's see. I have a post. My female friend was very uncomfortable. I guess uncomfortable, but she said that it was very wild. Yes. Let's see. Someone asked, did I hit a gay bar? Yes, I said that. I did hit a gay bar. Gay bars can be fun. We used to have some great gay bars in Orlando that just basically had great music. And what I mean by that was they had like that 90s, 2000 danceable music. And they went ahead and killed it. They, of course, yeah. It was a gay and lesbian bar. Yeah. Yeah. It was. And again, it's again, no, I will say right off the bat, no judgment. If you're having fun there, have a great time. I just want to go ahead and say it was interesting. So the next time you go into a bar, you might see some very interesting things. I doubt that'll happen in a straight bar. But I have had a wonderful time tonight talking about puppy play. I think DC, I'm going to cut it short tonight. So thank you all very much for coming. I really appreciate it. We will see you on Monday. Miss Angelique Luna will be back, and we'll do this again. Back on Monday. Was it next Monday? Thank you for coming. See ya.